जी अच्छी बात ठीक। Good morning to one and all. This is Mohammed Aamir. I am going to teach you today second year economics, one of the most important answer. The weightage of this particular answer is around 10 marks. Okay. And one of the very important answer in each and every question paper, even for the March attempt and then for the May attempt also, this question has been asked for multiple times. Okay. So we'll learn how and what importance does India has and how are we going to stand in terms of economy, right? Okay. So moving forward, the topic would be characteristic features of developing countries with special reference to India. Okay, I repeat, characteristic features of developing countries with special reference to India. मतलब ये है कि जो developing countries है और developed countries है, इन दोनों को मद्देनजर रखते हुए we'll see that where is India is standing in terms of economy, right? Okay, developing countries में जो features हमारे हैं, we'll talk about what India is doing and how we are progressing towards the development, right? Okay, so the one thing we need to be clear that we need to maintain some difference that which are the developed countries and which are the underdeveloping countries. We all are well aware that India is a developing country. Okay, whereas in comparison to some developed countries like America, USA, Canada, all these countries are developed countries. Most of the European countries are developed, and in comparison to Asian countries, we are still developing, right? Okay, so coming back to the topic, we'll start. There are certain points and certain characteristic features which we share with the developing countries. Okay, so the first point is low level of income. Okay, or you can say this as low per capita income. लो लेवल ऑफ इनकम का मतलब ये होता है कि seeing the point only, seeing the side heading only, we can easily understand that here the countries which are developing, we have low level of income. Our savings are low and our income is also very low in comparison to the developed countries, right? Okay, it is said that the average income of all the Indians is around 25,000. Okay, तो द पर कैपिटा इनकम का मतलब ये होता है कि पर पर्सन ऑफ इनकम, पर पर्सन इनकम को हम बोलते हैं पर कैपिटा इनकम. ओके, द फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट फीचर of our country is, okay, we have very little bit income. Okay, the income is very low. Okay, I would like to read this point and we'll move forward. Poverty reflection low GNP per capita. Poverty is considered as an absolute poverty which is measured by considering low income along with malnutrition, power, poor health, clothing, shelter, and lack of education. All these factors results in low standard of living. Kane Cross stated that underdeveloped countries are the slums of the world economy, right? Okay. See, we all know that whenever whenever the income is low, our standards of living also go down. Okay. In this way, जब कभी भी इनकम हमारी कम होते जाती है, इसी तरह क्या होता कि हमारी जो लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड्स है वी कॉम्प्रोमाइज. This is what actually happens when there is low income, right? So in country like developing country like India, we have very little bit income. Okay, the first point is clear. Okay, developing countries का सबसे पहला feature है कि we do all have low levels of income. Okay, second point is predominance of agriculture. So what do I mean by predominance of agriculture? If you look at this term, pre and dominance, see, Indian economy is also called as agrarian economy. Why? There is a reason behind that. Why it is called as agrarian economy? We all know that we do have lot of agriculture. a lot of workforce is engaged in agricultural activities in our country. Okay, so that is the reason there is a clear dominance of agricultural sector on Indian economy. Okay, it is said that around 42% of workforce is being engaged in agricultural sector only itself. Okay, so we can easily understand that dominance, there is already a dominance of agriculture and predominance. Before developing also, we all are having the predominance of agriculture, okay, on our economy, right? Even though why? Because since 1950s, after the independence, if you look at our economy, there was a clear evidence that we do all were having a great importance of agriculture in those times. Right now, we don't have that much, but at that time, since that time only, we were having a lot of importance of agriculture. Even though till today, agricultural sector is the only sector which provides a lot of employment to the workforce of our country, right? Okay. The second most foremost feature of developing countries is we do share a dominance of agriculture in our country, right? Understood, everyone? Not only agriculture, but its allied activities. Like all the agricultural sector is it is very vast, and lot of activities are undergone under the agricultural sector. Okay, but one thing we all need to know is here the employment which agricultural sector provides is the highest in comparison to all the sectors of the economy. Okay, but one more thing we need to understand is here the income is very less. We are getting the low income from agricultural sector, but high employment from agricultural sector. Okay, if you understand this one, there is a little bit difference between this, but we can easily understand. Okay, so clearly we can see that the evidence from our facts that we do have a dominance of agricultural on our economy. Understood, everyone? Okay, the third point is, first one is low level of income, second one is predominance of agricultural, third one is capital deficiency. If you look at here, so what we all are aware that what is capital and what is deficiency. Deficiency हम बोलते किसी चीज की कमी. और अगर इसको रिलेट करें हमारे कैपिटल से, इफ यू रिलेट दिस विद द कैपिटल डेफिशिएंसी, देखिए जब कभी भी कैपिटल की डेफिशिएंसी आती इकोनॉमी में, whenever there is deficiency of capital, what actually happens, our growth obstructs over there. Whenever there is deficiency in capital, what actually happens, our economy obstructs the growth. Okay, the growth which we were expecting or which we think that it might increase, there the economy obstructs. Okay, so why? The reason is capital deficiency. Okay, we are talking about the developing countries. जब हम डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज का एक प्रॉब्लम ये भी है कि कैपिटल डेफिशिएंसी है हमारे पास. So there is lot of deficiency in the capital. Why? See, this is interlinked with savings. Whenever we see, हम देखें कि भाई अगर कैपिटल एक्यूमुलेशन के लिए हमको सेविंग्स की जरूरत पड़ती है. ओके, सेविंग्स हमारे अच्छे हैं. ओके, तो देन दैट सेविंग्स विल लीड टू इन्वेस्टमेंट. When investment is pumped into the economy flows. This is what actually happens. Okay, so this is the third characteristic feature which we are talking about. Okay, where जब कभी भी capital की deficiency economy में पैदा होती तो होता क्या कि हमारे पास growth जो है वो obstruct हो जाती. Understood, everyone? Okay. So it is said that our savings are around 30%. Then our investment is also around 32%. Okay. So next point is technological backwardness. Yes, technological backwardness. So what do you mean by technological backwardness? We do all are aware about that. From one instance we can easily understand that. एक example से हम समझ सकते हैं कि right now our Indian, if you look at our in terms of if you talk about only about the smartphones right now, okay, so 95% of smartphones which we are using, those are imported ones. We are not producing here, right? Even though if we are producing, but the rights which the rights of that technology is not being held by with us. Okay, if you look at all the brands, all these brands are from some another countries. Okay, very less brands which are Indian based. Okay, even though there are some Chinese brands, but their base is from China, right? If you just relate this with technological backwardness and moving forward, if we interlink this with the previous point, capital efficiency, when there is low investment, low investment will lead to low technology also. Understood everyone? जब कभी भी इन्वेस्टमेंट कम होता तो टेक्नोलॉजी भी कम होती. क्यों? Why? Because we are not in a position to replace the old one with the new ones, right? Understood everyone? Technology, to replace the technology, we need a huge investment, right? Okay, since to replace, the cost of the replacement is very high. Okay, so what we actually are doing is, rather than replacing the technology, we are importing the technology which is affecting us. Okay, the fact is, because of this also, okay, they are moving backward, right? So this is one of the one more feature which is supporting that the characteristic features of developing countries is this is also one of the important aspect where we are lagging behind, right? Technology is also the one of the foremost and important factor where we are lagging behind. Okay, okay, moving forward to this. Okay, the next point is lack of infrastructure facilities. Okay, see, we do all know that what are infrastructure facilities. Okay, infrastructure facilities का मतलब होता कि भाई proper schools, hospitals, safe water, sewage, roads, etc. Okay, there are numerable features that comes under the infrastructure. Okay, so infrastructure का मतलब ये होता है कि due to this also, the infrastructure facilities, the lack of infrastructure facilities also is hindering our economic development. Okay, this is also the feature of a developing countries, that the fact the infrastructure facilities which we require are not sufficient in our country. Okay, एक और फीचर है जो हमारे पास, जो हमारे हम लैग कर रहे हैं, वो ये है कि भाई हमारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, मतलब ये है कि जितनी रिक्वायरमेंट है हमारे अपने को इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की, वी आर नॉट हैविंग दैट मच ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर विद अस. This is the one more point, one more aspect where the characteristic features of developing countries is this one. Okay, this is one more aspect, right? So moving next, sixth point. Next one is demographic features. देखिए, डेमोग्राफिक फीचर्स का मतलब ये होता कि डेमोग्राफी इज समथिंग विच इज रिलेटेड विथ बाउंड्रीज, एरिया, which kind of land and which kind of fertility we are which kind of fertility of soil we are living. Okay, and atmosphere, which kind of atmosphere we are living, right? Okay, तो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज का एक और फीचर है कि भाई इनकी जो डेमोग्राफी है वो सेम रहती है, यानी वी शेयर दैट we have heavy population. Okay, we have illiteracy, and we have lot of unemployment. All these factors conclude that we do share the common demography. Okay, डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज के जो फीचर्स है उसमें एक फीचर ये भी है कि हमारे पास जो कॉमन डेमोग्राफी है, यानी यानी कि पॉपुलेशन हाई होना, इनकम का लो होना, ग्रोथ का कम होना, ये ऑल दोज फैक्टर्स रिजल्ट्स इन डेमोग्राफिक फीचर्स. इसको हम डेमोग्राफिक फीचर्स बोलते हैं, यानी विच इज रिलेटेड विद आवर सराउंडिंग्स, या एटमॉस्फेयर बोलो आप, या हम द क्वालिटी ऑफ सॉइल विच वी आर लिविंग, राइट. ओके, और हमारी पॉपुलेशन किस तरह की है, ये मेल लिटरेसी कैसी है, फीमेल लिटरेसी कैसी है, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट कितना है, मैटरनल मोर्टालिटी रेट कितनी है, ऑल दीज फैक्टर्स कंक्लूड टू कम्स अंडर डेमोग्राफिक फीचर्स, राइट. ओके, यानी मतलब ये है कि भाई डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज ये सेम फीचर्स को अंडरगो करते हैं. ऑल दीज कंट्रीज आर हैविंग द दिस कॉमन फीचर्स, यानी पॉपुलेशन का हाई होना, ग्रोथ का कम होना, सेविंग्स का लो होना, इनकम का कम होना, ये सारे फीचर्स डेमोग्राफी में आते हैं. ओके, अंडरस्टूड एवरीवन. वन मोर पॉइंट इज हाई रेट ऑफ इलिटरेसी. हाँ, इन कंपैरिजन, अब ये अगर हम इन फीचर्स को देखें तो वी स्टिल आर हैविंग a lot of illiteracy in our country. Right now, it is said that around 26% of population is around illiterate in our country. 26% of our population is still illiterate. देखिए, इलिटरेसी से जो प्रॉब्लम्स अराइज होते हैं सोसाइटी में, वी डू ऑल नो दैट जब कभी भी इलिटरेट, whenever people are illiterate, what actually happen, this will hinder the economic development. तो एक फीचर ये भी है कि डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज का, कि भाई इन सारे डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज में इलिटरेसी भी हाई रहते हैं. मतलब ये है. ओके, अंडरस्टूड एवरीवन. इलिटरेसी के हाई होने की वजह से होता क्या कि इट विल हिंडर अवर इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट. whenever economic development is hindering, population का उसमें बहुत ज्यादा रोल रहता. Okay, understood everyone. So coming back to the first point to seventh point. First one is low level of income. Second one is predominance of agriculture. Third one is capital deficiency. Fourth one is technological backwardness. Fifth one is lack of infrastructure facilities. Sixth one is demographic features. Seventh one is high rate of illiteracy. Okay. इसमें से अगर किसी कुछ डाउट है, you can raise some question. Okay, the participants can raise the question. Okay. Okay. कोई किसी का कुछ डाउट है इसमें? नहीं आ रहा. Okay, I'll erase this. तो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है ए डुअलिस्टिक इकोनॉमी. ड्यूअलिस्टिक इकोनॉमी का मतलब होता कि डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज के अंदर दो तरह के इकोनॉमी एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. एक है मार्केट इकोनॉमी, दूसरी है सब्सिस्टेंस इकोनॉमी. ओके, मार्केट इकोनॉमी का मतलब ये होता है कि इकोनॉमी इज ओरिएंटेड विद द मार्केट, देयर इज लेस इंटरवेंशन ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ओके, मार्केट इकोनॉमी का मतलब ये होता है कि भाई कंट्री के अंदर जो भी प्रोडक्शन हो रहा, उस प्रोडक्टिविटी में प्राइसेस डिसाइड करना, प्राइसेस को एग्जीक्यूट करना, सप्लाई चेन को मेंटेन करना, ये सारी चीजें मार्केट ओरिएंटेड रहते हैं. इसको हम बोलते हैं मार्केट इकोनॉमी. मतलब ये है कि गवर्नमेंट का इंटरवेंशन बहुत कम रहता. ओके, एंड द अदर वन इज सब्सिस्टेंस इकोनॉमी. सब्सिस्टेंस का मतलब ये होता कि हमारी इकोनॉमी बस चंद चीजों पे बेस्ड है, यानी वी आर स्टिल सर्वाइविंग एट सर्वाइवल लेवल ओनली. दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज सब्सिस्टेंस लेवल. सब्सिस्टेंस का मतलब ही ये होता कि भाई हम सिर्फ सर्वाइवल पे है अभी भी. वी आर नॉट लुकिंग एट large and sustainable economy, but we are still at survival level only. There is a huge gap between sustain and subsistence. Subsistence का मतलब होता minimum, sustainable का मतलब होता maximum. भाई there is a huge gap between that. Okay, so still developing countries are at the edge of subsistence level only. Understood everyone? Okay, so the next one is underdeveloped natural resources. ओके एक और फीचर है जो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज का, वो ये है कि नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज अंडर डेवलप्ड है, या तो अंडर डेवलप्ड है, या तो लेस यूटिलाइज्ड है, या मोर यूटिलाइज्ड है, या मिस यूटिलाइज्ड है। तीनों बातें हैं कि भाई डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज में रिसोर्सेस के यूटिलाइजेशन का कोई एक सिंपल स्ट्रैटेजी नहीं है। ओके आइदर दे आर लेस यूटिलाइज्ड, और आइदर दे आर मोर यूटिलाइज्ड, और आइदर दे आर मिस यूटिलाइज्ड। ओके one of the common feature of developing countries is the natural resources which we are having, whatever natural resources we are having, those are underdeveloped. Okay इनका अगर सही इस्तेमाल हो जाए, if we utilize them in a strategic way or strategic manner, then we can overcome. And see, one thing is clear, that if the natural resources are used according to the requirement, या जितनी उसकी डिमांड है, और नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज को हम अगर सही इस्तेमाल करें, ओके तो होता क्या, वी कैन नॉट वी कैन विल नॉट कॉम्प्रोमाइज विद द फ्यूचर जनरेशंस। वाई? बिकॉज those future generations, those all are coming, okay, they'll also undergo, they'll also use these same natural resources. Okay what we need to do is, we should use the natural resources in a proper way, or we should not misutilize these natural resources. Okay either if we are misutilizing them, what will actually happen, then we'll have to face the problems of nature. Okay the natural calamities. Okay it is said that due to the improper utilization of natural resources also, our GDP, we are losing 1% of GDP every year. Okay moving to the next point, lack of entrepreneurship. See, if you look at this word entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship is nothing but a skill to manage things, okay, to organize things, to upscale the things. We call it as entrepreneurship. Okay, since we are very large population, we have very vast natural resources, we do have vast resources. Okay, we don't have, we are lacking the entrepreneurship skills. Okay, if you overcome this also, our development will move forward. Okay if these factors are hindering the development, then definitely we need to overcome this issue. Okay entrepreneurship is nothing but a kind of skill to organize, to upscale, to overcome the issues of any organization. Since developing country is such a huge thing, okay so we to improvise our growth also, we need good entrepreneurship skill. Okay so this is also a common feature of developing countries. Okay developing countries, this is also one of the foremost important feature of developing countries. One bad decision and one wrong decision can ruin the development, right? One wrong decision also can make you uh, will lead in lot of problems, right? To overcome that issue, we need to have good entrepreneurship skills also. Okay this is one of the important characteristic features of developing countries. Okay next, moving to the next point, unemployment and disguised unemployment. See, we all are aware that unemployment is also a chronic problem of developing countries, right? So what do you mean by unemployment? See, unemployment का simple meaning ये होता है कि भाई people those all are willing to work and they do have the capacity to do the work, they do have the ability to do the work, but still they are not finding any proper job. Okay that is what the situation, we call it as unemployment, right? Okay and other thing is disguised unemployment. See, in a country like India, why there is lot of disguised unemployment? Let me explain what disguised unemployment is. Disguised unemployment का मतलब होता कि जो जॉब के लिए एक्चुअल एक बंदे की रिक्वायरमेंट है, तो उसी जॉब को अगर 5 लोग कर रहे, तो हम ये जो 4 लोग एडिशनल काम कर रहे हैं उनकी मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी तो जीरो हो गई, क्योंकि वो जॉब एक आदमी के करने का काम अगर 4 लोग कर रहे, इफ द पर्सन, ओके, द जॉब, द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द पीपल इन वन पर्टिकुलर जॉब, इफ दे आर वर्किंग मोर देन द एक्चुअल रिक्वायरमेंट, दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज डिस्गाइज्ड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट। मतलब ये हो गया कि 4 लोग जो एडिशनल काम कर रहे हैं उनकी मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी तो जीरो हुई, राइट? अंडरस्टूड एवरीवन? उसको हम बोलते हैं डिस्गाइज्ड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट। तो एक कंट्री लाइक इंडिया, a country like developing countries, we do have lot of issues like this. We do face disguised unemployment, we do face chronic unemployment, we do face seasonal unemployment, okay, which is also hindering our uh, economic development. Understood everyone? So this is also one of the most important point uh, where developing countries face this problem, right? So we do all share these common problems, right? When we talk about all the developing countries, all these points we can see in all the countries we do have these common problems. That is what we are addressing it. Okay. Chaliye. Moving next to the next point is social institutions. See, social institution. Social institution is nothing but this point is something which is related with our society. सोसाइटी के जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, सोसाइटी के जो ट्रेडिशंस हैं, सोसाइटी के जो कस्टम्स हैं, सोसाइटी हमारी जो कंजर्वेटिव है, उस वजह से भी हमारी जो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट है दैट इज गेटिंग हिंडर्ड, वो रुक जा रही, उसको ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट किया जा रहा। व्हाई? बिकॉज ड्यू टू दिस सोशल इंस्टीट्यूशन दे आर नॉट promoting the economic development. Okay, society also should play a vital role in promoting the economic development. Okay, a country, developing countries का एक problem ये भी है कि social institutions promote नहीं कर रहे development को, they are hindering, okay, they are obstructing. That is what we are facing, these kind of problems, right? If the customs, beliefs, traditions and all these can be kept aside and we talk about development, then definitely the society can improve. Their contribution is much more. सोसाइटी का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है इट मैटर्स अ लॉट इन डेवलपमेंट, राइट? ओके, सो हम किसी डेवलपमेंट का काम करना चाह रहे हैं, इफ सोसाइटी इज ऑब्स्ट्रक्टिंग दैट, अगर हमारे जो क्या बोलते हैं, इफ सोसाइटी इज नॉट कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टुवर्ड्स दैट, डेफिनेटली वी कैन नॉट गेट द फ्रूट्स ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर डिसीजंस, राइट? ओके, सोशल इंस्टीट्यूशंस आल्सो आर नॉट प्रमोटिंग। ओके, सोशल इंस्टीट्यूशंस का काम ये है कि दे शुड प्रमोट द डेवलपमेंट, राइट? ओके, ट्रेडिशंस को, बिलीव्स को, अपनी कंजर्वेटिव थिंकिंग को, नैरो थिंकिंग को, दैट शुड बी केप्ट असाइड. The point to here is they are not making a way for the development, right? Understood everyone? So and the last one is okay. The last one is foreign trade orientation. So what do you mean by foreign trade orientation? Foreign trade orientation का मतलब ये होता कि भाई economy should do the international trade with the countries, but there should be a favorable balance of trade. Or you can say that surplus balance of trade would be helpful. सरप्लस का मतलब ये होता है कि भाई इसको हम एग्जाम्पल से समझेंगे कि एक्सपोर्ट्स हमारे हायर रहना इंपोर्ट से, तो जब हम ये कह सकते हैं कि भाई हमारा जो बैलेंस ऑफ ट्रेड है वो बहुत बेहतर है, आवर इकोनॉमी इज स्टैंडिंग गुड at international level also. See, if you look at the facts, right now the trade deficit of India is around minus 180,000 US dollars. That too in the minus 1,80,000. More than 1 million of our trade is at deficit. Okay, this is not the good symptom of a developing country, right? All the developing countries face this problem that their deficit, the trade deficit is much more higher. Okay, the trade should be at either at surplus level or either at the favorable level. Okay, so favorable का मतलब ये कि भाई हमारे exports इम्पोर्ट से ज्यादा रहना चाहिए, राइट? सी व्हाट एक्चुअली हैपेंस, अगर हम इम्पोर्ट ज्यादा करें, ओके, तो इम्पोर्ट ज्यादा करने की वजह से विल फेस द ट्रेड डेफिसिट, ओके, विच गोज ऑन मल्टीप्लाइज, ओके, which goes on multiplying, and this is not the good idea for a healthy economy, right? Okay, so all these are the factors which are shared by the developing countries in common. यानी ये फैक्टर्स जितने भी नजर आ रहे हैं, ये पूरे के पूरे फैक्टर्स कॉमन है डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज में, ओके। सो वन थिंग इज, एक ट्रिक मैं आप सबको बता देता हूँ रिमेंबर करने के लिए, इफ यू वांट टू रिमेंबर ऑल दीज पॉइंट्स, ओके, व्हाट यू ऑल डू इज just write down the first letter at the end, okay, like I like right here it is D, okay, here it is U, you can easily understand all this, okay, L, फिर यहाँ UN अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, या एस बोल के यहाँ पे लिख लीजिए, इसके बाद यहाँ पे FTA लिख लीजिए, ओके, यू कैन इजीली रिमेंबर ऑल दीज पॉइंट्स, ओके। स्टार्टिंग में भी वो अगर हम देखें तो लो लेवल ऑफ इनकम, predominance of agriculture, high rate of illiteracy, high rate lack of infrastructure. तो starting का जो letter है, just write down that one and remember all these points. You can easily remember all these 13 points. Okay, this topic is very important as per now. In each and every question paper, you will easily find this question. Okay, do remember this one. Okay, if you have any doubt, participants can ask me. Okay, the mic is on.